right. Over here to Instagram, go live. Hey, welcome. I'm Kathy Freeman with Kathy Freeman Art, and today is Tuesday, and I'm welcoming you into my studio, my art studio. I'm going to work on a couple of projects. I'm going to bounce around here. So I thought if you've got some of your own artwork that you want to work on, bring it along and let's share. Say hello when you join in. Say hello in the comments. Let me know you're here. This little image here, I want to take a look here of something. It's always a few minutes before it gets going and before we see people in our showing up. So you want to give a little bit of time for people to pop in and say hello. Let's make sure that that is going on there. Perfect. Okay. All right, back here. Now, I thought today I was going to do something totally different, and I'm going to save it. I will share it at some point. This is a little bird's nest here, and let me get it close because I had so much fun creating this. It's just a little watercolor, and I will be sharing this. If I have time today, I'll share it, or if not, it'll be an upcoming week. I found that there's a beautiful thing about sitting down and starting to create because it really just settles the whole thing down, your whole mind, everything. So if you have a little bit of a racing mind or a lot going on in your mind, this is the thing to be doing. Welcome, say hello, and put your name in the comment. I'm glad you're here joining me today. This project is the first project in September that I've given to my art sisters. And so it's already in their library, ready to go. The class is to teach, and I loved creating this project. And so I decided that with that, I was going to create it in my art journal. And this is my art journal here. Just a kind of the shape of it, I wish it was a little bit taller. I like that rather than a long, but it's been a fun one to work in, and it's a nice one to have. Anyway, I gave them several different sizes because I have some that like to make cards. So I made the smaller size and then just different variety. And I thought, I'm going to put those in my journal here, and I've already transferred them over. So I'm going to start just creating this. This one I thought I would go watercolor it. This one I will use acrylic paint on it. And just like I did with this project here that's already in their library. Let's go ahead and get started. Follow along. I'm going to create the values for this. And that's the first thing I usually do with them is we create the values on a project. What is this cord? Give me a minute. Time out. Cord in the way. There we go. I can't create if I'm fighting a cord the whole time. How about you? There we go. Let's add. I'm going to do a little value study first. Create the values on this. So the values, you're always looking for your lights and your darks and getting an idea, creating a little map there for yourself. And so with this, never quite know how thin I've made it. So I'm going to start with probably one of my darker spots. And then I can see where I need to, if I need to go lighter with it, which I do. I need to go a little lighter with it. But while I've got this, we will go around and create. I'm going to have this be this value. And this is going to be about the mid-tone, in the middle of the sunflower. Got a little bit over on that side there. I'm going to move my water closer to me. Perfect. And my rag to swipe off that water. Put that a little closer to me also. So I'm always looking at what is darker next to what's next to it. Is it lighter? Is it darker on either side of it? And need some more water in here. Water that down. The leaves back here are going to be light. I like doing this first because it helps me to really think through the project first and get an idea of where everything is placed. And just kind of settle into it, Always takes a few minutes when you're working on a project. Okay, the leaf goes over here. Thought it would be fun to have this enlarged on this side. Stem here. Just popping on. What I'm doing right now is I'm creating a value study. Looking for this is green here because it's that little outer edge of the sunflower. That's a leaf. Yeah, go around, see? Kind of figure out where everything is. This is the stem. That is actually a petal up there, I think. No. Okay. So we'll go even lighter for our petals themselves. This back here is really light. It's a flower in the back, and the highlights are quite bright in those. So let me know what you're working on. And I'm going to leave those white because those are very light back there. These are actually a little bit darker than those petals just because of the shadows being underneath. My first layer on, then I can always add more to it. It's like watercolor. There we go. I'm looking at each petals and just giving an overall wash. Right. Now I'm going to come back in, put another layer. Over. And that will increase the value. And of course, the green down here. A little darker. And the centers darker. Okay. Watch my petals here. Some petals are underneath. There, can you see what it's starting to kind of take form, isn't it? A little darker here. Welcome, say hello. Tell me where you're from. Right, I've got something, let's see. We've got here. This petal's going to be a little darker down here because it's underneath. Tell me, did you bring something with you to work on today? This is, those have just joined. This is actually part of, I'm doing this in my art journal, and I'm just starting out the project that I gave to my art sisters this week for the next couple of weeks to work on. It's an acrylic painting, and I loaded in their library several different sized templates so that if they wanted to do a card or a larger painting, they have the ability to do that with the template that I've given them. And I'll show you the templates. I've already see these are what I used to trace from, but it just gives a little bit of a something so they don't have to start out sketching. I think a lot of the sketching and the drawing intimidates a lot of people. It doesn't need to. All right, I need this to get really dark. So I'm going to grab some of the color. What I'm doing here, if you're wondering, is the value study. This is that area where the little seeds are. So I'm really intensifying that. A good idea of where, how, and how light, dark to do the colors when I put them down. It becomes a great little map. To help guide me in my colors, my shading. And it's darker here. You have to look at either side of the line. You look at the lines and you decide where's it darkest, where's it lightest, and then fill that in according. This is a little bit darker under here. Because it's the stem and it's down in the shadows. So it's going to be darker. Our leaves on the side here. Then this little sunflower on the side. It's got some really dark areas itself. There. Okay, let's see if there's anything else. Just let that dry now for a minute. I'll let that dry. That becomes our value study. While that's drying, I'm going to move over to the other side, which is going to be my watercolored flower. So this side I'm going to do acrylic. And then this side over here, my little art journal, I decided I want to keep some of it, just the lines. I want it to be loose. change out my water. Don't want to mix your acrylic water with your watercolor water. I do want it to be loose. I want it to be watercolor. Where's my brushes? Grab a couple of those little brushes. And let's start playing with the watercolor. Those things out of the way. Does your tabletop ever get just full? Mine will get a little full at times. All right. I've got this wonderful palette. And this is a combination of several other palettes, but I like to put one in here. This is kind of my earthy tones, and then I've got one that's more bright. You just take those and combine them, right? So when you're working on a project, you can find what you need. Let's get started with our centers. Let's see, I need a brown. Because it's all drawn out, it can be more like an illustration. Hello, I'm glad you're here. Pop your name in. Let me know who's joined us. In the beginning, for those that just joined us, I'm sharing that I'm getting my art sisters. This is their project for the week, for the next couple weeks, actually. I like to give them enough time that they don't feel rushed, they don't feel overloaded. That's an acrylic painting, and so that's what they're working on this week, next week. And I thought I would love to have that in my art journal. So that is the goal today. In a lot of time. Tell me what you're working on. Love to hear what you might be working on. What things? Coffee Bean. Hello. It's the first time I think I've seen you here. Welcome. Give me a thumbs up here or something, or a little yes, absolutely. If you find that you can be kind of a little bit lots going on in your head, a lot of concerns and that, and then just basically sit down with a project, pull something out. I need a black. It's a dark brown. I need a black. And you can start down to, painting something, creating something, and it's just like every part of you takes this deep breath. Isn't it wonderful? I am so grateful. I'm so grateful for art and what it can do for us, how it just really takes that edge off of the day. You don't have to take a long time. One thing I've started to share with is especially homeschool moms, but moms of all sorts. You're busy nurturing and caring and taking care of others, and your day goes by so quickly. And by the end of it, you're just exhausted and you're thinking, oh, I just need some time to myself. Let's see here. Is this the one I want that has that wonderful green? Yes, I love the greens in this one. Um, you're thinking to yourself, I just need a few minutes. Well, that's why I really enjoy recording the classes and putting them in the library, because they can come in anytime that's convenient for them and take a few minutes for themselves. All right, now I'm going to work on this green here. I'm adding the water first, creating a little pathway for the color to follow. I'm using my liner brush. I don't typically, but because this one is so small, gives me a little more control with the size of this brush. While we're watercoloring, this one on this side is just drying nicely. This is my value study for the acrylics. I won't get it all done while you're in watching today, but I will post it on my page. You can see what it's through. I opened the doors for my art sisters last week, and I kept them opened yesterday and today only because, with the holidays, I like to enjoy the holidays myself, and I don't want to be pestering people with telling them about the doors being opened. So if you're interested, you can still jump in today and find this project. Well, this project in the library. You know what? I'm so sorry. I just thought about this now. You don't need to be looking at me totally. There we go. It's a lot better, isn't it? Don't need a full view of me. Let's turn that light down here a little better for you. I've received one of my art sister members, one of the community members. She makes cards out of these projects and has them printed and then sells them. And I've received her beautiful cards. It warms my heart to see them, the artists, sharing their work and what they're doing with it. Brings a lot of joy. While you're sitting here watching, type in what's your favorite medium to work with. What do you enjoy yourself? All right, let's get up here. Don't forget this little stem, group of stems up here. Now, with this one, I just went straight, wet on dry. I enjoyed doing this project with the acrylics because of the highlights. Notice the highlights right here on this, doing that layering with the acrylic paint and creating those highlights. All right. Grab a different brush. Let's start on our petals. How are we doing on time? We're doing great. Welcome. We've got more. Say hello. Glad you're here. Coffee Bean. Trying to learn gouache paint. Yes, yes. We did only one project. I think it was last year with that particular medium. And I wanted them to experience, I wanted them to try it. Wasn't one of our favorites. So I've stuck mostly with just watercolor and acrylics. We are a mixed media group. So I like to give them a variety of. I want to loosen this up a little. Personally, I am not a tight, typically, painter. So let's loosen this up. Let's grab this yellow. This is a little more. Let it do its own migrating. And this is just personal preference, but if I'm doing a watercolor, I tend to not want it to be super tight, because it's, to me, watercolor is all about flow. And those happy accidents that can happen is the colors maybe mixed together, or right, let's go for a brighter yellow. Get these little teeny ones that are sticking up here. I want them to stand out. And I'm going to get the tips with this brighter. There we go. I don't know if you can see that very well. Let's do the tips first. That's the highlight. Now I'm going back to the warmer yellow. I'm jumping back and forth just to let you know, from this and this, the lemony to more of a sunflowery kind of warmer yellow. The warmer yellow I'm using for most of the petal. When it's small like this, it's easy to cover a lot of ground. On this page, I'm going to put what I like to put on my pages is a little quote or something. So I've left space here for that. There's a leaf right there. Brighter color down at the bottom there. The water, let it migrate up. Go back to my greens and get that leaf in here. We're coming right along with this. I've got some of that green. I'm going to go back to my smaller brush, my liner brush, and I'm going to put it in a cup of water. I'm going to take that green. Put these little stems in there. Ooh, almost dropped my brush. Go. Go back to that bright yellow, lemon yellow. Let's do these tips. see, I've got a little bit darker right there because that one is back behind. These tips. This is got a little bit of an orange. This is definitely a warmer yellow right here. So I'm going to bring this up to a few of the petals. Be careful not to hit those ones that are standing outward. I want them to stay. Yeah, this is working out beautifully. Some of these towards the back, we need to make those darker. Always thinking about the tones, the highlights. Where's your midtones? Where's your highlights? Where's your shadows? Okay, now that we did that, let's go back in, find a really deep brown. Needs to be almost a black, doesn't it? Grab some black. Let's put that in. It's coming right along. Welcome. We've got more. I'm glad you're here. Say hello. Okay, let's get that dark brown. I want to carefully along this edge here. Take a small brush. And I'm going to create this this over here. Let's mix up some. I would like to have need to be a shadow, a really deep shadow. So we've got our brown there. I'm going to grab some of the black. Mix those together. Just add this. Create some more shadows areas. Ooh. All right, my friends, let's see. We go for light gray for the glass here. And our glass. Darker on the edges here. Get that. And I'm just gonna, whoops, let's get a bigger brush. That. Let's create the little shadow. Kind of anchor it down. A little bit of a, it's not floating too much on the page. I'm going to add, for the fun of it, some blue to that. Kind of a turquoisey color. Right, we have finished that one. And this one, I'm ready to start painting. What time is it? It is almost time. So I'll get started a little bit with you, and then you can watch the, look forward when it's complete. Next step when I'm doing the acrylics is we go into the contrast colors. So let me put my watercolors away. And I want a blue. All right, the goal for this basically is to this is expected. Sorry, just a minute. All right, am I still here? That is the question. It was saying it was having some problems with Instagram. So looks like I'm still live. All right. For the acrylics, you're looking for the complement color. Basically, you want, if you're coloring with painting with a warm color, you want something cool. If you're doing a cool, then you'll want something warm. And since obviously the sunflower is a warm, then I'm going to use this turquoise. Sit down with some water a little bit. And I'm not working at trying to get the, obviously the values or anything in. Those have already been established. What I'm doing is just designating these areas. This always seems a little strange when you do it because you're thinking, oh, you're painting a turquoise flower. But when you're done, this is what you get. So it turns out just fine. And our time today is almost up anyway, but I will keep working at this and post it. And for My Art Sister members, this gets you excited and motivated to work on your project. You'll get quite a wonderful sense of satisfaction by completing it. And you can look back and you think, wow, look what I made. It's always such a satisfying. And then when you show it to somebody and they're like, oh my goodness, did you create that? So I guess let me end by saying, never be critical of your own work. It's so easy to do that, though, isn't it? To be critical of your work and what you're doing. I might leave this one with these. I love this. I don't know. It's so kind of abstract and we'll see how I feel as we go along. These are the painting the cool and the warm areas. And I'm using a turquoise. You could use, doesn't have to be a turquoise. It could be, basically, it could be a blue. Something cool. You want your cool colors. I think what I'm going to do is I will run out of time here. I'm going to take a picture, a snapshot of it in this stage, because so you can see the different colors I end up painting, the contrast. See, I think that's a little petal right there. It's a little petal. We got little petals coming up here. And it's a petal going off that direction, and the rest is green. See, this is what's so great about this, is it creates a little road map. So as you're painting, sometimes my mind will wander. Does that ever happen to you? And then but with this, it keeps me on track. It's perfect. Okay. All right. I'm going to do just a little bit more, and then I'm going to wish you a great day. I'm going to use this color because this is green. I'm going to use a warmer. This is still a little bit of a blue to it, doesn't it? Let's see if I got something a little warmer. Let's go for this one. There we go. Crimson red. A little bit of a blue. But because it is red, it's going to give a warmer tone to it. See, it goes right there. This is my little map to tell me it's going to be green in this area. All right. Thank you so much for joining in with me. I'm going to leave you. Thanks for showing up today as I'm doing my little creative project. All right. You have a great one and let's be creative together. Have a great day.